There are many times and look, let me just put it out there. I'm not bothered by it. I honestly do not care. You all know how YouTube operates. The more people comment on the content, the more the video is pushed by YouTube, the more views it gets. And aside from the ad revenue, which I need that to live off of, I actually enjoy seeing the healthy and sometimes toxic discussions going on about certain characters. Now, it does get old when I point out clear signs of toxicity from Karen, but there are the Karen fans, Karen stands, the ride or die Karen fans who ignore that and label me as a hater just because I'm pointing out something that is right there in front of your face. I said it before and I'll say it again. Same thing, have and have nots. Around the time of Candace being a pimp and all this other stuff. And I say, you know what? I'm sick to death of Candace. She's a stale character. I don't like the route that Tyler's taking her. And people are like, oh, see, why do you even watch the show? You're so negative and blah, blah, blah. Candace ain't do nothing right. She deserves that money. And for the life of me, I will never understand people who have that view set. Why it's inheritance. Then as soon as she hired Malik, I think that was the name of that thug, and to go after her mom and scare her into signing over the money, that's when people are like, oh my God, Candace has gone too far. I'm like, yeah, going after your mama is one thing, but all the stuff she done up until that point, nobody is saying anything. Like, what? You going to forget all the other crimes she's done? Now, Karen hasn't gone that far, but it just annoys me how, for example, there was somebody on the comment section on my Instagram who commented on the video I did, because yesterday I posted three or four scenes from various episodes. I don't give Karen credit for her apology, and I explained why in my caption, and I posted a video on that subject last night, and you all know that if not for Andy, she wouldn't have done it. And number two, it didn't even feel like it was sincere. It just felt like she was saying that to kind of get off her chest or save some face, because it's ironic how she called for Fatima to be there so she can embarrass her, when in reality Fatima embarrassed Karen, by stopping her plans, by basically proving her lies in front of her like to be lies. So there was somebody like, oh, there we go, the number one Karen hater and this and that. And it's just ridiculous, because I give Karen credit where credit is due. Yeah, there are over if I'm not mistaken, 6,200 videos on the channel at this point. So the Sistas playlist alone is almost at 730 videos. Yes, just the Sistas listing by itself. So I encourage you to go back through that at some point. You'll see that I vouch for Karen a bunch of times. I'll never forgive the rest of the Sistas group at the beginning of season 2, when Zach was rightfully arrested for breaking into the hotel room that Karen and Aaron were in and starting a fight, and then he got arrested. And then out of nowhere, Danny called, say, you got to bail him out. For what? He's going to lose his job. And then next thing you know, Andy comes by the salon and then vouches for Zach too. And it's like, why the hell is Karen responsible for bailing him out when he was the one that did foul to begin with? No, that's not on her. That's on him. So, yeah, I mean, there are plenty of times where Karen's feelings have been justified, where she's like, the thing is, because every sister kind of had their thing in season 1, like their personality quirk. Danny didn't like to be kept in the dark about things. Sabrina was just, she's kind of the same character, she doesn't think for herself. Andy is the uppity one. And then Karen is the one who's like, man, there's no one ever on my side. No one ever sees things from my perspective. And to be honest, I can definitely, understand that based off what we've seen from her in the earlier seasons. But when we get to this, the moment that she filled out or filed the police report to get Zach arrested, I was kind of done with her character. But then when we get to the back half of season 3, after the whole salon scene in the mid-season finale, she's just been this bitter, vindictive, as David Harrington would say, this cruel, vindictive, simple bitch. And that's been it. That's her whole character. It's like she's pinning a pregnancy that she doesn't even know she's pregnant on a man who she doesn't even know for sure is the father, or excuse me, know for sure is the father. And she's pushing away a man who actually does care for her to chase after a man who has already moved on. And just looking at how she acted, you know, as soon as Andy put two and two together about what Fatima's true purpose in coming to the penthouse was, you know, Karen, go back to before the meeting when Karen was like, wait, don't you trust me? No. And then you actually see why Andy doesn't trust Karen. To be completely honest, I feel like the more Fatima is accepted into the group, the further Karen is going to move away from it. And that's not Fatima's fault. That's not Sabrina's fault. That's not Danny's. If you look at all the conniving, immature shit that she's pulled, you can understand why the other girls wouldn't want to be around her. Seriously, if you look at things from Andy's perspective, I can definitely see her not being friends with Karen for that much longer. I mean, from coming to her job, making a spectacle. Thankfully, they were behind, you know, closed doors in the break room, but still, they were pretty loud. And then after that, you know, you have what went down in the penthouse. You basically had Karen breaching Andy's trust because it's almost like she's stringing Andy along. Hey, don't worry. It's like she's a sheep in what's the phrasing? A wolf in sheep's clothing or something like that. Basically, Karen is utilizing her friends like pawns for her own selfish purposes, and as a result, I could see Karen getting, you know, booted from. No, I don't want to say booted from the show, but you know, booted from the friend group just because if you look at how she's acting, she tried to get Danny, you know, with that toxic shit earlier in the season with Preston. But then, you know, Danny saw right through that. Like, no, I ain't got time for this crap. Yeah, you know, she apologized and all recently, but still, Danny's done with the shit. Andy's going to reach her limit, as I just pointed out. And Sabrina, well, Sabrina's just Sabrina. So, I mean, I honestly think that Karen is a person or a character who I feel like, and I've said this before, I've seen some comments say, y'all, Tyler Perry did not assassinate Karen's character to uplift Zach and Fatima. Y'all need to stop. No, there's truth in the fact that he did. If you literally look at what he did to the character in the back half of season 3, basically negating every development that happened between Zach and Karen in that salon, it's just painful to me what he did to the character for the sake of Zatima, and I don't think I can forgive him for that. Even if, let's say, in season 5, which is going to be filmed at some point in the near future, Karen gets a full backstory, well, you know, a full solo story that's Zach free, and she's moving on. She's moved on and having a good life. That's all well and good, but I don't think I can. Nobody can forget about the back half of season 3. Just that alone was just awful for the character. So yeah, this video is like, you know, say what you want to about me being a Karen hater, but I'm just pointing out what sometimes I look at comments and I'm like, and again, everybody's free to have their own perspective and all, but are we watching the same show? I seriously wonder sometimes, but whatever. So go ahead and take a moment, hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video, hit subscribe and hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one.